why they left, and why they're back. How to break the cycle. Most men crumble. They let people walk in and out of their lives like their time and emotions are free. They welcome back the very people who abandoned them, letting them take even more because they're too afraid to say no. But you're different. You've been hurt. You've been betrayed. You've been left behind. But you're not here to play the victim. You're here because you're done being used. You want answers. You want to know why they left, why they're back, and most importantly, how to respond like the man you're becoming. You're here to break the cycle, and I'm here to show you how. Reason 1, guilt. Guilt is one of the heaviest emotions a person can carry. But here's the truth. It has nothing to do with you. When someone leaves you, whether it's a girlfriend, a friend, or even family, they don't feel guilt right away. In that moment, they feel confident, maybe even smug. They convince themselves they're making the right choice, that you'll be fine without them, or worse, that you won't be fine, but they don't care enough to stay. But guilt doesn't hit them immediately. It creeps in, slowly, like a shadow they can't outrun. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine this. You're in a relationship. You've given her everything, your time, your loyalty, your energy. You were her rock, the guy she called when things went wrong, the guy who always showed up. But one day she decides she's done. Maybe she thinks there's something better out there. Maybe she's convinced she'll be happier without you. Maybe she just wants freedom. At first, she feels free. She's getting attention from other men. She's going out more. She's living her best life. And you're supposed to break down. You're supposed to chase her, blow up her phone, beg her to come back. That's what she expected. But instead, you do something different. You don't chase. You don't text. You don't beg. Instead, you move forward. You get back in the gym. You focus on your career. You improve yourself. And suddenly it hits her. The attention she craved feels hollow. The freedom she wanted feels lonely. And you're not sitting around miserable like she thought you'd be. You're thriving. And that's when guilt kicks in. At first, it's just a whisper in the back of her mind. Did I make a mistake? But then it gets louder. She remembers how you always listened to her problems, how you supported her when no one else did, the way you made her feel safe. And suddenly she realizes she didn't just lose a man, she lost the man. But here's where most men fail. Most men think her coming back means she finally understands what she lost. They think she's had some deep revelation, that she's ready to make things right. But that's not what's happening. She's not coming back because she truly regrets leaving. She's coming back because she can't handle what she did. Her guilt isn't about you. It's about her. It's not about fixing things. It's about making herself feel better. Real life example. Let's talk about a real world example. You ever notice how celebrities break up and then, months later, their ex suddenly wants them back? Take someone like Michael B. Jordan. When he broke up with Lori Harvey, she moved on fast. But when he showed up at that basketball game looking fresh, successful, and unbothered, you could see the regret written all over her face, because she expected him to be broken. But instead, he leveled up. This happens in everyday life too. You ever have a friend cut you off, only to text you months later, acting like nothing happened? Or an ex who disappeared only to hit you up with a "Hey, how have you been?" It's not because they suddenly realized your worth. It's because seeing you happy without them makes them question if they made the right choice. And instead of sitting with that guilt, they try to come back. How to respond like a man. This is the part where most men get it wrong. They let guilt manipulate them. They think, maybe she really has changed. But here's the truth. If you take her back out of pity, you're not just forgiving her. You're teaching her that your boundaries, your peace, and your self-respect are negotiable. And as a man, Those things should never be negotiable. So what should you do? Let her sit with it. Let her face the weight of her choices. Because every time you let her back in, you're telling her she can leave whenever she wants and you'll still be there waiting. But you're not waiting anymore. You've healed, or you're healing. You've picked up the pieces and built something stronger. So don't let her guilt drag you back into a situation that broke you. You are not her savior. You are not her redemption. You are the man she couldn't replace. And that's a truth she'll have to live with. Final thoughts. The moment you understand this, that's the moment you reclaim your power. The question is, will you? Reason 2. Fear of loss. Fear of loss is primal. It's hardwired into us as human beings. But here's the catch. Men and women experience it differently. When a man fears losing a woman, it's because he sees her as a partner, someone he's invested in emotionally, mentally, and physically. But for a woman, especially in today's modern relationship dynamics, fear of loss is often tied to control, to the comfort of knowing someone is there. It's not about losing you as a person, it's about losing what you represented in her life. And that distinction makes all the difference. She thought she was gaining, not losing. When she left, she didn't think she was losing you. She thought she was gaining freedom, gaining options, maybe even an upgrade. She thought the grass was greener on the other side. But what she didn't realize is that the grass is only green where it's watered. So she left, thinking she could find someone better, someone who would give her the same level of commitment, support, and care, but without requiring her to reciprocate. And for a while, she probably believed she made the right choice. But then, reality hit. The world isn't as forgiving as you were. She started to realize something. Other men, they don't care about her dreams the way you did. They don't listen, support, or sacrifice the way you did. They don't see her as special, the way you once did. And suddenly, she starts to see you in a different light. She sees you moving on. She sees you thriving. She sees you becoming the man she never thought you could be. And it terrifies her. Not because she wants to be part of your journey, but because she's no longer in control of the narrative. She was in control. Now she's just a spectator. When you were together, she held the power. She knew you'd fight for her. She knew you'd sacrifice for her. She knew you'd move mountains to make her happy. But now she's just another spectator in your life. And that scares her more than anything. Her fear of losing you isn't about love or regret. It's about control. It's about the realization that she no longer holds a place in your life. And that fear drives her to come back, not because she's changed, but because she wants to reclaim the power she lost. She'll say all the right things. But ask yourself this. When she comes back, she'll say all the right things. She'll tell you she's changed. She'll tell you she misses you. She'll tell you she finally sees what she lost. But ask yourself this. If she truly valued you, why did she leave in the first place? Why did it take losing you to make her see your worth? The answer is simple. She didn't see it until it was too late. And that's not your fault. It's hers. Her fear is not your responsibility. It's not your job to reassure her. It's not your job to comfort her. It's not your job to give her the validation she's seeking. Your job is to protect your peace, to continue building the life you deserve, and to never, never let anyone disrupt your progress. The biggest mistake. Most men make fear as a powerful motivator, but it's also a selfish one. Most men, they let fear manipulate them. She comes back and they think, maybe she really has changed. They let nostalgia cloud their judgment. They remember the good times, the memories, the promises they made to each other. But here's the truth. Those memories are in the past for a reason. The promises, they were broken the moment she chose to walk away. How to respond like a man. So when she comes back, what do? You let her fear you. You let her regret losing you. You let her realize that the man she took for granted is no longer available to her. That's not cruelty. That's justice. It's the natural consequence of her choices. And as a man, you have every right to protect yourself from those who don't deserve a place in your life. Final thoughts. You're not just any man. You're the man she couldn't replace. And that's a reality she'll have to live with for the rest of her life. Reason 3. Validation. This is the one that cuts the deepest because it exposes one of the harshest truths about modern relationships. It's not about love, it's about ego. When she left, she believed she was upgrading. She thought she could do better. She thought you were replaceable. But then, something happened. She realized that no one else was giving her the same level of validation that you did. And that's when the regret kicks in. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't about missing you. It's about missing the way you made her feel. She's addicted to validation, and you were the supplier. Validation is like a drug, and when you were together, you supplied it without hesitation. You made her feel seen, wanted, special. You listened to her. You supported her. You gave without expecting anything in return. But the moment she left, she thought she could replace that validation with likes, comments, superficial attention from other men. She thought that as long as other men desired her, she would still feel the same sense of importance that you once gave her. But she was wrong. Because there's a difference between attention and genuine validation. Attention isn't the same as value. Here's where it all fell apart for her. The attention she got from other men, it was shallow and fleeting. Those men didn't care about her dreams, her fears, her ambitions. They cared about what she could offer in the moment. And when they got what they wanted, they moved on, without a second thought. And suddenly, she was left with nothing. The likes? Meaningless. The attention? Temporary. The men? Gone. That's when she remembers you. The man who saw her for more than just her looks. The man who valued her mind, her ambitions, and her emotions. The man who gave a damn when no one else did. And that's when she comes back. But not because she loves you. She comes back because she needs to feel wanted again. The fake apology and the manipulation tactic. She'll tell you she's sorry. She'll say she misses you. She'll act like she wants to try again. But here's what she really means. When she says, "I'm sorry," she doesn't mean she regrets hurting you. She just wants to hear you say, "It's okay." When she says, "I miss you," it's not because she wants to rebuild. It's because she wants to know she still holds a place in your heart. When she says, "I want to try again," it's not about fixing the relationship. It's about reassuring herself that she hasn't been replaced. Her return isn't about you, it's about her. And the moment you let her back in, you're handing her the power she lost when she walked away. You are not her emotional safety net. Most men make the mistake of believing her words. They want to believe that she's changed, that she's learned her lesson, that she truly sees their worth now. But here's what really happens when you take her back. She gets her validation fix. She feels important again. And the second she's reassured that she can still have you, she pulls away. Again. Why? Because she was never back for you. She was back for her ego. The hard truth. She can't handle your growth. Here's what's really going on. She doesn't want you to move on because it threatens her sense of importance. She doesn't want you to thrive without her because it forces her to confront her own mistakes. And she definitely doesn't want you to find someone better because that would shatter the illusion that she was irreplaceable. But none of that is your problem. Your strength is what scares her the most. You've grown stronger in her absence. And that strength? That's the very reason she wants back in. But you didn't build this strength just to hand it over to someone who couldn't appreciate it. You built it to protect yourself, stand tall, move forward without looking back. The moment you truly understand this, you'll see her return for what it really is: a desperate attempt to regain control. Your test: will you choose yourself? They always come back, for guilt, for fear, for validation. But here's what you must remember: their return is not your closure. Their return is not your second chance. Their return is your test. A test to see if you've truly learned to protect your peace, value yourself above the opinions of others, walk away from those who never saw your worth to begin with. If you've ever been in this situation, drop a comment below. I choose my peace. Because that's what real strength looks like. It's not about revenge. It's not about resentment. It's about freedom. Freedom from the cycle, the pain, the people who don't deserve you. If this video resonated with you, support the channel by subscribing. It helps YouTube recommend this content to others who need to hear this message. Your growth is our mission, and together, we can help more men take control of their lives.